Yo, what up, everybody? Mr. Smith here again. Today I'm going to be going into more Illustrator. It's going to be kind of a mixture of a review from last year, but I'm also going to introduce patterns to you because in the next couple weeks we're going to be working on making our logos that we're then going to laser engrave into. So I'm going to jump right into this. It's not a super long video. But I'm going to be kind of focusing on some of the tools that we talked about already this year and last year, while also introducing some new stuff to you. All right. We'll hop over to Illustrator. If you remember from last time, Control 0. All right. Go into my Illustrator here. Control 0 will fill the screen or fit my artboard to the screen. Now, artboard is fit to the screen. I want to show you something new. What I want to show you is if you press Control R, it will bring up your rulers. All right. Rulers are important because they allow us to actually go and create guides. The ruler's pulled up. I can actually click on the left ruler here and drag, and it'll pull a guide over. Or I could click on the top and pull down and make a guide. All right, but for right now, I'm going to hit Control Z to back up. I just want to use this one vertical guide. So again, that's clicking on the left and just dragging to the center, and now I have a vertical guide. All right, so at this point, what I'm going to do is I am actually going to create a pattern. And so I'm going to show you how to do this. What we're going to use is the pen tool. So if you come over here to the right, tool, here's my pen tool. Pen tool is right here. It's the third one down on the left. But remember, what it lets us do is click, and then we'll click a second spot, and it'll make a line. And then we'll click a third spot, and it'll make another line. All right, so for instance, like click, 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 right? Like this. That's what our pen tool does. But what we're going to do is I'm going to actually try to make a pattern for a flower. So I'm going to go up here on my guide, and I'm going to click down here and click, and then come to my guide and click. So I've basically got like half a diamond. For me to actually see this well, I need to change my fill and my stroke. So I'm going to go over here to the left, and on this white square, that is our fill. What color flower do I want to make? I'm going to go with like a light blue color. All right, so my fill is going to be light blue, and then my stroke black. All right, so I'm looks like a diamond. Well, I round it out. I want to curve this so that it looks more like an actual flower petal. So I'm going to use my white arrow, which is the direct selection tool. And if I grab the white circle on the inside and pull to the right, it'll curve this for me. Curve it till I have kind of a shape here. Then I have the half shape. Going to click on it with my black arrow, which is the selection tool. And I'm going to right click, and I'm going to go down to transform. All right, right click, transform, and over to reflect. Selected that, but really I want to copy. All right, I want to reflect and also copy. So I go down here to the bottom, and I click copy. So now you can see that I have both of them. So I'm going to hold my right arrow down, and I'm going to move it over and try to line it up. All right. Say, for instance, that you didn't get it all the way lined up. All right. You see how mine's got this white kind of right here in between the two sides. So what we can do is what's called a join. So if I click on my black arrow and I draw a selection box around the top 2 points here, I can right click and click join. And now it's actually gone up here and has joined those points. Now I have my one petal of a flower. So what I need to do now is I'm going to rotate this and copy at the same time. So we're going to do what's called a rotate copy. I'm going to show you the first one, and then we'll repeat the step just to kind of get it ready. So you're going to click on the object. You're going to go over here to the left. The rotate tool is right here. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7th one down on the left side of the advanced toolbar. So if I click on that, the way it works is you've got to set your middle. So watch when I click. You see how there's like this blue that shows up? So I need to set the middle. Well, I want to rotate around the middle about right here. All right. So what I did is I held down Alt and then I clicked on that same spot again, and it's going to do a 60-degree rotation. Again, I want to rotate copy, so I need to click copy. Now I have 2 of them. So it looks like I've made mine kind of thick. Those are thick. So I need to do more than 60 degrees for mine. Yours is looking okay. So 80 degrees works a little better for me. All right, 80 degrees. So I'm actually going to end up doing 90 degrees. So that way I'll just have 4 petals on mine. Again, this is because I drew mine really thick. If yours is thin, you know, then you're. So there's my 2 petals. All right, so what's cool when you do a rotate copy is there is a hotkey or a shortcut key just to repeat the step, and that is Control D as in dog. Control D, Control D. All right, so you do your first one, and then Control D will actually give you. So here we go. Now I have my little petal. Almost like a flower petal, but it's more of like a petal cross. And this is my, beginning of my pattern. So I used my black selection tool, and I highlight the whole thing, and I right click and do group. So that way this thing is a group. So I actually want to add a background to it. A rectangle around it here. All right, just like that. And change the color. So what goes good with light blue? I'm thinking maybe some type of purple. All right. And then I'm gonna, for the stroke, I'm gonna go with no fill. All right. So I click the little white box with the red diagonal through it for no fill for the stroke. So that way this is just a purple rectangle. All right. So the issue right now is my rectangle is actually covering up my flower design. So I'm gonna right click, go to arrange, and I want to send it to the back. All right. So now my petal moves up and is on top. And everything into the middle of my screen now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to center the square, and I'm going to center using the alignment tools at the top. So I also want to come in here and kind of, I think I want to pull these in tighter. Personal, guys, when I'm thinking about this pattern I'm going to make, I don't want it to be, a nice tight pattern. This is going to be the basis for the pattern I build. This right here. So I'm going to right click on this, and I want to go ahead and group it. All right. So it's grouped. It's just one thing now. And I'm going to right click and copy. And then I want to paste a copy up top. I want to make another copy and just kind of keep it over here in case something goes wrong. It's just something. you to do the same. Now we're actually going to go through the process of making this a pattern. All right, so when you're making your logo, you might want to design your own background or something, and one way to do that is through creating patterns. So I'm going to click on this. Then I'm going to go up here to Window, and I'm going to go ahead and pattern options. All right, it's a toolbar. It looks like this. So you will notice that it's grayed out. All right, it's grayed out because I actually selected a pattern. This is not a pattern yet. Right now it's just an object I made. So I go up to Object, go down to Pattern, and click Make. When I go to Object, Pattern, Make, it then turns this into a pattern. All right, and telling me, okay, now you've made a pattern. Okay. And it's going to tell me it added it as a swatch. So if you look over here at my swatches, you'll see that I actually have a pattern right there. All right. Click Save a Copy. Well, actually, I'm going to manipulate this a little bit. So one thing I can do is if you look here, there's tile type. All right, so I'm going to zoom out a little bit so you can kind of see these changes. Do brick by column, offsets it vertically. Got hex by column, it kind of tightens them in. Again, I'd probably want to kind of go in here, maybe change the shape of the middle one. So see how I'm changing the shape. Change this down. Do you see how as I manipulate the middle one, it's also going to manipulate the rest of my pattern. But for my examples right now, I'm just going to stick with this original one, right? I'm going to do the grid and name it, straight grid maybe. Yeah. So again, that's down in my swatches. If I want to save another copy, I can do it up here. So for instance, if I want to brick by row, I can do save a copy and call this brick pattern. Again, it's now been added down here. So straight grid. All right, so to exit pattern mode, I just have to click this back arrow here. We're back here where we were, but now what we have is we actually have swatches that are patterns. So let's say I take my rectangle tool and then I select this pattern here. This was our straight grid. Uh-oh. I selected it as the stroke. Did y'all see that? So I'm actually going to do that, but here I need to click that. So now when I draw my rectangle, it's actually drawing my pattern. All right, so instead of using a color, it's drawing the pattern that I created. It becomes, that becomes very useful when you're doing graphic design or, creating your own logo. I'm going to do the brick pattern also. So that one's a little bit different, you can see. So I'm going to switch from that to my grid pattern. I saved over it before. All right, get the idea. All right. These two patterns, so I can just use these as we're going to create one more in this video. And so basically, guys, what I'm looking for when you are done is what you're going to submit to me today is I want to see a file where you have this flower pattern. Now we're going to do a chevron pattern. All right. So you might not know what a chevron is, but a chevron is the zigzag pattern. If you think about the Chevron gas station, it's their logo. They've got the red and then the blue. All right. So we're going to do that. And I'm even going to use chevron colors. So I'm going to Control 0, bring this up. I'm going to start by drawing. I want to change my fill here. I'm gonna do a like gray background, maybe a light gray. Okay, here we go. Area since that's where I'm working. So now that I have that, what I want to do next is I'm going to draw a red rectangle going from the top left to the middle here, right? And you can make it as skinny or as large as you want. So now that I have this red rectangle, I'm going to take my white direct selection tool and I'm going to click on it. If I hold down Shift, forgive me guys. So if I grab my black tool and I grab this corner, I can pull it down, and then I can go up here and grab this corner, so pull it down, till I kind of have this shape here. What I want to do next, all right, so again guys, that was your white arrow. You select the shape, then you select your corner and you pull it down. You know, maybe about right here, about right, you know. Then I want to make a copy of this and a reflection of this. So just like we did with the petal, I'm going to click on it, this time with the black arrow, and I'm going to right click, transform, and this time we're going to use reflect, but make a copy. All right. What that should allow me to do, got it, you know, a reflection of it, so it's like, you know, the chevron. So I'm going to change this one to blue. Red, I've got my blue. One thing you can do, guys, and I'm just going to show this, it's going to take away my fill, but last time we used the drag, click, and highlight all this, but if y'all remember, we used this shape builder tool here. So if you take that and combine these two, it's going to take the fill of the red, all right? Maybe I'm going to do, I know what I'll do. I'll actually take and copy these. Way we have two of them. Looking a little off, ain't it? There we go. We got two of these. What I'll do is I'm going to highlight the shape builder tool we used last time to drag click, and it's because I selected the back. It's my bad. Just select the red, hold down Shift, select the blue, and use that shape builder tool to combine those two. So basically, I've created this chevron pattern here. I've got red, blue, and gray. So I want to actually make it into a pattern. So if you remember, what does Mr. Smith like to do? I like to make a copy in case anything goes wrong. So I'm going to copy it. I'm going to paste it. I'm just going to keep it up. Now that I have a copy, I need to turn it into a pattern. So we're going to go ahead and turn on our window and then pattern option. Those are right here. Then I'm going to go, let's see if we can kind of zoom in. Then I'm going to actually turn this into a pattern by clicking on it, going up top, object, pattern, make. So you can see that it's chevron, pattern. I could offset it, you know, I could do whatever I want to do, but I'm just going to keep it as a grid. So I'm going to name it chevron pattern. Okay. Click done. So now I can actually move these over, because what I can do is I can go over here and it's one of my options. So it is right here. I will take my rectangle tool. Check it out. A chevron pattern along with my flower pattern. Those are my two patterns that I've created in this video. We're right at about 20 minutes, so I'm going to stop here. I might do later this week, one more video just about some other patterns that you can make. But you get the ideas, guys. Any shapes that you create, you can then make it into a pattern and a swatch, like a color that you can use. All right, so when I'm grading, what I'm looking for is that you have some type of flower pattern that used a rotate copy, and then also a chevron pattern where you have manipulated a rectangle to actually kind of be a zigzag. All right, that's it for patterns. We'll be walking around the room during class, kind of working with y'all one-on-one to make sure you get this. And as always, guys, just hit me up on It's Learning if you need anything. All right, thanks.